Good morning. I'm going to be speaking a little bit about some of the GIS development and activities that are ongoing at the National Water Center. My name is Monica Stone. I am the GIS Specialist Lead within the Operations Division of the National Water Center. And the National Water Center is part of the National Weather Service, which is part of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Our vision at the National Water Center is a water-ready nation. So we are addressing the nation's challenges when it comes to water extremes, water scarcity, and water quality. And part of our mission is to develop and deliver state-of-the-science hydrologic data and data services to help our stakeholders make quick, informed hydrologic decisions. We do everything from flooding to droughts, water availability, and water quality. So anything related to water is under our domain, and we do this across all timescales. In August of 2016, we released the National Water Model. And over here on the right is an animation of the water model output for the 2020 water year. The National Water Model is a hydraulic modeling framework, and it provides both observed and forecast stream flow for about 3.4 million waterway miles across the continental United States, Hawaii, and also Puerto Rico. This new guidance complements the approximately 4,000 official river forecast locations across the Weather Service, and those are gauged locations. So the real value of the National Water Model is it helps us provide valuable hydrologic information to areas that previously had none. In total, we generate about 1 terabyte of data daily from the National Water Model. So with so much data coming out of this new model, we needed a way to be able to quickly synthesize and post-process it and be able to visualize it so that our stakeholders, again, could be able to look at it and easily make quick, informed hydrologic decisions. So in order to do that, we have published a series of about 40 data services, and these are published on our enterprise GIS system that we host at the National Water Center. As you can see, all the services are listed on the screen, and they kind of fall into 3 temporal categories. The first category, our analysis category, those are services showing current hydrologic conditions. We also have a short-range set of services that look out the next 18 hours for the continental United States and out the next 48 hours for Hawaii and Puerto Rico. And then lastly, we have some services for the medium range, and those look out over the next 10 days and are currently only available for the continental United States. Across all 3 temporal configurations, we do update these data services in real time as new data is available from the National Water Model. So in the case of the analysis and short range services, that happens every hour. With our medium range services, that happens every 6 hours or about 4 times a day. As you're scanning through the list of different products, you'll notice they kind of fall into several different categories. We have services that show observed and forecast stream flow. We have a lot of services that focus on high flow events, so what magnitude of the high flow is expected, when it's expected to peak, when it's expected to recede. We also have a similar subset of low flow services. We have services that look at soil conditions, snow conditions, observed and forecast precipitation. And of greatest interest, I think we have a subset of services that focus on inundation mapping. And I'll speak a little bit more on the inundation mapping side here in a moment. You can view some of our data services on our public website, which is water.noaa.gov. Not all of them are available there yet, but we are continuously adding new products and services to our website, so stay tuned for that. You can use the interactive map viewer to click around on the different layers. You can click reaches and see hydrographs of National Water Model output, as well as download images if you'd like to save off a particular service. Internally, I mentioned that we have an enterprise GIS system at the National Water Center. We use the portal in that system to serve out our data services to the National Weather Service forecasters across the nation, as well as associated web maps and web applications that we have developed for operational use. So I mentioned that one of the big things that we're working on at the National Water Center is doing real-time inundation mapping. So previous speakers in this webinar series have mentioned the height above the nearest drainage method for mapping inundation extent. That's the same methodology that we are using at the National Water Center. We're using it to compute flood libraries for the entire nation. We have two flavors of inundation mapping that we're doing. The first one utilizes the analysis and forecast streamflow output from the National Water Model. With this version, we provide a look at current inundation extent as well as 18-hour, 3, 5, and 10-day maximum extents. Currently, we're running that in real time for portions of the eastern and southern regions of the U.S., but we have plans over the next year to expand this out to the entire continental United States. The second type of inundation mapping that we are focusing on at the National Water Center is termed replace and route. We only provide a 5-day max extent for that. And the big difference here with this one is that instead of using the National Water Model streamflow guidance, we are using the official forecast from those approximately 4,000 locations I mentioned that are gauged locations for the National Weather Service. So this is available across the entire continental United States currently, but only downstream of gauged locations. And so the real utility of the National Water Model is that it helps provide us not only stream flow, but inundation mapping estimates for areas where we do not have any current hydrologic information. And over here on the right, I have an animation of inundation extent produced by the National Water Model back in 2018 during Hurricane Florence. And so what you're seeing is the red shaded areas. That's the FEMA 100-year floodplain. And as the animation moves through time, you'll see the blue polygons expand. That's the National Water Model inundation extent. Then you'll see as we continue through the event, it begins to recede. So this is some of the type of information that we're working on developing and providing to stakeholders at the National Water Center. So in addition to providing those real-time data services, we also do utilize web maps and custom web applications within our operational workflows as well. And so what I'm going to do now is exit the PowerPoint and do a little demonstration of one of our custom web mapping applications. So what you're seeing right now is our WaterView dashboard. We call it WaterView because it's a one-stop shop for all water services coming out of the National Water Center that show National Water Model data. So this is used by our forecasters for operational, in their operational workflows for situational awareness. So you can see the core of the dashboard is a map viewer, lots of widgets that the forecasters can use to interact with the data services. I mentioned before that all the data services are live and updated in real time. So if I click on a feature, I can get more specific information about that location, and you'll see this service was updated just a few hours ago. So in it, over here, you can see we have lots of stacked layer lists with all of our data services that our forecasters can click through. And as an example of some of the customization that we've done using our Esri portal, we've created our own print widget. So a forecaster can zoom into their area of interest, turn on their desired layers, and use the dialog down here to create a graphic. And so here's an example of what a graphic might look like once exported. And these graphics are nice because we are able to, on our portal, customize them to include our agency's logos and the appropriate disclaimers that need to go with each product. These are used by our forecasters to provide situational awareness briefings for emergency managers and other decision makers when responding to hydrologic events. Lastly, I just wanted to mention that we do have a YouTube account, so please check it out. And if you'd like, you can subscribe and follow and see some of the content that we publish from the National Water Model, we publish outputs usually of major events, but we also have a lot of training material there if you're interested in learning more about the water model or some of the data services that we provide.